In this tutorial, I'll show you how to create this logo animation by using Blender and Screen to GIF. Let's create a cube, and scale it to make it look like a long stick. I'll rotate the cube. The idea is to add an empty object as its anchor, and use an array modifier along with it. When this issue occurs, select the cube, and press Ctrl+A to reset all transforms. If we rotate the cube, we'll have this centered array effect. I'll add a ground plane. If we want to add more cubes, then we must decrease the rotation degrees of the empty object first. If we wish to move this cube object upward, then we must apply the array modifier first. I'll set the last frame to 100, and animate the cube to rotate 359 degrees from frame 1 to 100. I'll add metallic materials for both. Let's use Eevee with Bloom. I'm using a built-in HDRI image as the environment. Please watch the tutorial in the description to use the built-in HDRI image. We'll also animate this camera a bit later. I'll add, edit, and scale a text object. Let's extrude and bevel the text object. Let's apply the build modifier to the text object, to show the build-up process. It would look the best if we could show the entire build-up process by animating the camera to move around the text object. The best way of doing that would be by using a curve point-based curve, and adding a constraint to the camera to follow the curve. If you don't have a curve point in the menu, please activate an add-on called Extra Objects. After extruding the curve, type a v as in Victor, and a to smooth it like this. We need an empty object for our camera to focus on. Please reset all location and rotation for the camera. We need to add a follow path constraint to the camera to follow the curve, and a track to constraint to follow the empty object. The camera is now following the curve. We need to make it constantly look at the center of the world. Here is something new to learn. That looks cool, but we wouldn't want to create an animation that looks like that, to represent a logo for somebody. What should we do to tilt the camera that is attached to a curve? The secret is to select and move the curve in edit mode, to find the centering position for the text object. Nothing else will work. We can rotate and move the curve in edit mode to find the centering spot. My recommendation is to find the centering spot for the last frame. This is the final animation, but do you see how the last frame quickly goes to the first frame after frame 100? The fastest way to fix that would be rendering the scenes as PNG, and using an external application called Screen to GIF. In Screen to GIF, there's an option to freeze one frame for any length of time, and that's what we need to use. I'll render this animation as PNG first. This render will generate 100 PNG images, and they need to be imported to screen to GIF. By default, the PNG files can be found under C drive's TMP folder. I'll import the images. Let's select the last frame, and increase the frame's length. This is the end of the tutorial. Thank you for watching.